The movie begins with a storyteller opening a book and saying he has a creepy story to tell us. It is about a monster who fights to become the master of his destiny. It starts in 1888, when a woman is about to give birth to a child. The child would rewrite the story of monsters and men. The storyteller asks us, whom should the birthing woman be more frightened of, the baby inside her, or the doctor who will deliver it? The doctor wants to use a syringe on the woman, which makes her scream in fear. He feeds off of it, laughing crazily. Then the doctor takes the baby out of her. Alas, the baby is... At this moment, a man walks in, bashing the new mother that he told her not the baby. It angers him that she did. The doctor offers the man his professional opinion that the baby should be... Suddenly, the film turns into a musical, and the mother sings that it's a beautiful monster who can't be put down. The mother seems to change her mind by singing, though he is just a baby. She doesn't want him around. Thus the others sing they should bury him where he can't be found. Moving along, the storyteller informs us that the man who's delivered the baby is no doctor. He is an infiltrator who has come from the devil's playground. He is known as the Master, an infamous sorcerer with a sadistic streak. He approaches the couple elsewhere and says their child is his, along with their souls. He orders his henchmen to take them away while he takes the baby. The next scene shows a boy with horns growing out of his head, walking with a lady. We are told one woman saw beauty, where others saw only the grotesque. The woman is Lucy Baxter. She collects a newspaper that states there exists a monster baby. Since it says he is a demonic abomination, she disagrees and considers him perfect. She tells the horned boy, James, that the baby is one of them. Afterward, we see a curtain open on a stage. The master is there to greet an audience. He tells them to look into his eyes before he recites a spell to hypnotize them. He says tonight they have paid to witness one of the most astonishing sights ever exhibited. The sorcerer presents the grotesque he stole, and the audience becomes uncomfortable seeing such a little monster. A voice yells out it is a devil's child. Once the baby screams, everyone covers their ears, even the master. During this vulnerable moment, Lucy runs up to the stage with James, calling the baby poor. She asks them what they have done. Seeing a line on his hand, Lucy tells James, the baby has the devil's line just as James does, but she calls it the line of kings. Then Lucy collects the baby, prompting the master to yell he will find her as he continues to cover his ears. Outside, Lucy tells the baby he will be her monster child, and she will call him Otto. The storyteller narrates that Lucy raises the monster as her own. She rescues more monsters. Yet Otto is special. With the passing of 16 years, the master has never given up on his promise to capture him. He knows Otto has powers that would peak when he would come of age. Lucy faces battles at every turn trying to keep her child safe. We see the master standing outside her house's window, looking in. Soon Otto walks in, receiving a birthday greeting from his mother. He has horns growing out of his head now too. The boy looks at a photo of his birth parents and asks his mom if they sent him a present. Lucy apologizes to him because his birth parents have never remembered his birthday. They have a new family with 2 daughters. Lucy wants him to know they are his family and they love him. As she brings Otto a present, we see the master peeking through the window again. Strangely, Lucy does not remember wrapping this present. Opening it, a severed head is revealed. Otto takes it out to see a note in its mouth. He reads it to learn its writer wants Otto's powers. The boy is confused, saying he has no powers. At this point, his mother starts telling him about the master. However, it's not told ordinarily. We get to experience a lively musical a second time. Lucy sings that since Otto was born, the master has lusted for his powers. She can't keep him safe anymore. Funnily, now Otto sings like he is already completely informed about the subject. He calls the master a soul taker who feeds on the former's fears. Then the master sings behind the window that he will suck the soul away from Otto. Switching back to Lucy, she sings it's time Otto took control of his destiny to decide what kind of man he really wants to be. He's 16, so it's time to fight to set himself free. Soon Otto collapses, causing the master to laugh. Later, we see Otto sitting in class. He asks the teacher for help, but upon turning around, the teacher reveals himself to be the master. He approaches Otto and says the boy's lights are on, though there is no one home. He has an equation on the blackboard. If Otto answers it correctly, he will be set free. Once the sorcerer goes to write more on the blackboard, Otto notices something on the floor. He crawls after it until it leads him to a big chest. Opening it allows a clown to emerge. He profanely says he is finally free from being locked in there for 500 years. Due to the clown calling Otto mate, the latter says he's never had a friend. Otto says he is scared of his teacher and asks if the clown could help him with his work. The clown has a better idea. for Otto to ditch this place with him, whose name is Jamie. He wants them to create chaos. Thus, they leave the classroom, which angers the master. Outside, Otto says he needs to use the toilet, and Jamie tells him to go on the ground. He adds it won't make people think any less of him because they already think he's a monster. Otto tries to relieve himself near a grave, but the person lying inside tells him not to. He tells Otto to have respect for the deceased. Soon a man walks by, carrying corpses. He sees the master is chasing the duo, so he says he will be digging their graves tonight. Otto throws a piece of flesh from the corpses at the master. Then he runs away with Jamie while the master laughs. The two new friends enter a bar that has a sign outside, stating no horned monsters are allowed. In there, Otto says the master seems very evil and very powerful. He looks at his hands, saying maybe power makes one evil. When Otto tells the bartender to get him a whiskey, the man replies that horned people are not allowed in there. Drawing near the window, Otto sees his mother behind it. She says she's been looking all over for him. Suddenly, she gets stabbed from behind, an act that saddens her son. He sees it is the master who did it. He walks into the bar to tell Otto he now belongs to the sorcerer. As he starts to take the boy with him, Jamie just sits there watching it all unfold. In the next scene, the master delivers Otto to a place called the Puppet Asylum. His birth parents are there. Unfortunately, his father does not accept Otto for being horned. The boy's birth mother comes to him and says they had no choice, for the master tricked them. He is who they serve now. Moving along, the master places Otto in a cell. He tells him he studied Otto's kind, but Otto is special. Ever since Otto screamed as a baby and forced the master to cover his ears, the latter learned Otto has extraordinary powers. He says the paranormal is the power to speak to the deceased, whilst possession is the power to control people's minds. The master says he will feed on the boy. Due to the line on his hand, his body will age, yet he will never reach maturity, and his power will become the master's. Therefore, he holds Otto's hand while green light emits from it. This feeds the sorcerer, who says he will keep him there. Once he leaves the cage, Otto's sadness gradually transforms into fury. Following this, we learn the boy has had to endure such imprisonment for 16 years. The master enters the cell, where he opens a smaller holding within it to get to Otto, who is now a man. Holding Otto's hand, the master receives a great amount of power from it. He says it was delicious, and he looks forward to lunch. After he leaves, we are told that on this day, Jamie has come to work for the master. He opens Otto's door, saying Otto looks terrible. Then he places a dummy hand in Otto's. When the master returns to touch Otto's powerful hand, he does not realize he touched the dummy one. This does not allow him to get the power he has been getting for many years. Needless to say, it angers him greatly. Thus he says he will be back in 1 hour. The storyteller narrates that over the coming days, Otto continues to deny the master the power he craved. He cannot understand why he grows weaker. In the meantime, Otto is transforming into the man he was destined to become. As he grows stronger, he remembers the first of his true powers, the ability to talk to the deceased. He knows who he needs to reach, so he communicates to Lucy. With a ghostly voice, she tells him he doesn't need her, and he should use his second power, possession. She tells him to possess the master. Listening to his mom, he starts controlling the sorcerer who took her life long ago. Otto makes the man punch himself. After he finally gets out of the cage, he unleashes a series of short horrors on the master. They conclude with Otto controlling the man to cut his to his demise. Lucy tells him he has done it, but he should not use his third power. It is the power to be truly evil. She asks him if he promises her he will not use it. She also tells him to take care of his brothers. We don't hear Otto accepting what she wants of him. Once he returns home, his 3 brothers greet him. Soon a knock at the door interrupts him. A lady is behind it, telling him he is very powerful, and she cannot resist him. She enters his home, prompting him to go against his mother's wishes. He orders his brothers to get out of the house. Since they are much less powerful than he is, they are forced to obey. Deviating from the story, we see the storyteller trying to speak to us, but he stops. Strangely, the scene shifts to show the production crew behind the film. Otto is the director, and the storyteller asks him if he really wants to finish the story like this. He thinks the lady should love Otto for being himself. Opposing him, Otto replies he does not care because he just fancies her. The storyteller also asks if he is sure he wants to kick his brothers out. Otto says he is the director and he wants to be evil and have some power. Therefore, the storyteller narrates that the story concludes with a triumph of evil over evil. He adds it's not the ending we expected, yet neither did he. That is how life is sometimes. He will leave it for us to decide how much of it was true. The film finishes with several newspapers flying toward the screen that state how evil Otto has become.